Welcome to selfdiscoverymedia.com, where the orchard of wisdom shows are at your fingertips. It ignites your soul, your heart, your spirit, your mind, and your body with illumination from people who have made the journey before you. They're here now to help you on your journey, on your path of self-discovery. We are funded by you, the audience, and the people we interview. If you wish to support us, please go to selfdiscoverymedia.com and press on our Fund Action button. Anything is appreciated. We'd like you to sit back and enjoy the shows. Here we go. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Quantum Spirituality, right here on selfdiscoverymedia.com. I'm your host, Sarah Troy, and my guest today is Dr. Craig Wright, known as Dr. Craig. He's a numerologist, but more than that, he says by journeying within, we can discover a higher self, a higher purpose, and a divine will. He is a native of Baltimore, Maryland, where he studied religion and philosophy in his youth. And as a member of the Baltimore Ethical Society, he holds degrees in psychology and metaphysics. He's an ordained metaphysical minister and a certified metaphysical practitioner. He uses his gifts to help clients understand themselves as a spirit. By journeying within, we can discover that higher self and divine will. We're going to be talking about his book today, It All Adds Up. And he has the most fantastic gift for us for those that listen to the show today. And I'm going to tell you what that gift is towards the end of the show. So let us dive in and discover all the wonderful things metaphysical, because it truly takes us out of this world. Welcome to the show, Dr. Craig.
Thank you for having me.
Let's dive into why metaphysical. A lot of people are kind of still don't quite know what that means. You're an ordained metaphysical person. What does that mean? How is that different from religion? And I think people do get very, very confused as to really what the definition of it is.
Okay, well, basically the word meta means beyond.
Mm-hmm.
And physics refers to the physical world.
Mm-hmm.
So as a metaphysician, I study things that are beyond the physical, and those would be things of a spiritual nature. I like to give the example, I'm asked that a lot, by the way. I like to give the example of a tree. When we look outside, we see a tree, we see the bark, the leaves, but no one pays attention to the roots.
Mm-hmm.
It's the roots of the tree that are invisible that's sustaining the tree. So when I look at an individual, I see the physical shell. That's what most of us see. But as a metaphysician, I want to study the roots, the spiritual roots. And that's where numerology comes in. That's the tool that I use to focus on the spirit that is within the flesh.
Everything adds up mathematically, isn't it? Everything is measured in energy and in math. We all go back to kind of the 0 1s, but that is actually the rhythm of life. That's the frequency. When we talk about being in the vibe, being in the rhythm, being in tuned, going with the flow, it's all stepping into that rhythm of life, which is a frequency which can be measured in hertz and various other things. But the higher that we are on that platform, the higher our vibration is, the more we are literally vibrating on every single cellular level of our beingness and connecting also to that beautiful source.
Exactly. And in numerology, each vibration is assigned a numeric value. Mm-hmm. Much like a composer uses letters for notes and numbers for timing as a musician.
Yes.
The letters in our name and the numbers in our birthday are symbols for the song we are to play in the symphony of life.
Mm-hmm. And you can't change your numerology. When you're born from the mum, it literally goes down to the minute. The day you're born, the week, the month, the year, it all has an equation to it. And so you have your life path number, which I'm an 8. You have your life path number, and that's when you are born. But then you have various other numbers, like the soul number and various other numbers. Let us look at those numbers and why they're so relevant.
Okay, well, the life path number, if you will, represents, well, let me back up a little bit. The idea behind numerology is, and the way I teach it, I should say, mm-hmm. is that we were created by the word of God. And words are vibrations that we use letters and numbers as symbols for. Starts in grade school. Teacher says, that's the A sound. But that's the B sound, boys and girls. Now, since we were created by the word, and words are symbolized with letters and numbers, the letters in our name and the numbers in our birthday refer to the word of God that created us. Now, the difference is the birth path number, which you just shared, the month, day, and year, the sum, that represents our gifts from the Creator. As a number 8, okay, as an 8, you can channel the heavenly power above to the earthly plane. That makes you very strong and powerful. So you're not Susie Homemaker, barefoot, pregnant in the kitchen. That's not what you came here to do. It doesn't matter about the gender. 8s are the boss.
Right.
Okay?
That can explain a few things. It's also the infinity sign too, right?
Exactly. When you turn the 8 on the side, it gives you wide angle vision. And that's why you are the boss, because you know how to delegate and put people in the proper position to get things done quicker, more effectively, and always under budget.
I don't know about the under budget, but yeah, I would say that, if it can be done frugally, it will be, but it has to be done right? And the right is always somebody's perspective. But I know with me, my right is when my divine being and my human being are in sync. Right? When that succinctness is there, and it is the knowingness, the channeling of that lovely divine knowledge, then I know it's right. If it's just simply coming from my brain, then it's questionable. But it's when that connection is made, then I know it's right, because it's been divinely guided.
Exactly. So the birth path, as you've already mentioned, that's one number. That's our gift. The letters in our name represent our calling, or our promise, our part of the contract with the Creator. Like the prophet Jeremiah, we have a contract before we're formed in the womb. So the birthday, gifts of the Spirit, the name is your calling. Then you have a vowel total and a consonants. That's essential when you want to know yourself, inner motivations and outer impressions. I like to use the example of, you can't judge a book by a cover.
Yeah.
The consonants, that's our personality number. The vowels, that's our heart's desire number. The heart's desire number is going to be who you truly are. It's like a guiding vibration, like a ship looks for a lighthouse in a storm.
Yeah.
That heart's desire number sometimes can overpower all the other numbers. That's the vowels. The consonants, the personality number, that's the cover to the book. And that's that number in a person, when I'm doing compatibility reports, the personality number is the everyday interactions. But the heart's desire number, that's the number I call the hidden agenda. That's the person, you could know them for 10 years, but not until you're married, that person starts to show up.
For good or bad.
So you want to know that number going into a relationship.
So if we know our numbers, like know our charts very, very young, life is about exploration, and life is about, experimentation and discovery. But if we know the parameters from which we're coming from, I'm also a True Colors coach, where I talk about the 4 key personality traits, which is, which are our perspective, our mind's perspective. But and I do a whole correlation between that, astrology, numerology, and Chineseology, because there's a common thread between all of them, and that's your dominance, right? That's and when you know your dominance of who you are and why you are, you've got parameters to work in. That doesn't mean limitations. It just means these are your strengths. This is how you utilize it. This is how you see it. This is how you're going to receive it. And you can strengthen it instead of trying to define it and say, no, I'm going to choose my own. The numbers will always bring you back, right, to your path.
Yeah. Yes, they will. And that's a very excellent way of putting it. It doesn't rob you of your free will.
No.
But it'll tell you, okay, it's springtime, time to plant.
Exactly.
You can plant anything you want, carrots, onions, but you don't want to try to plant when it's wintertime. And
right.
Numerology can help you in terms of spiritual energy. know when to plant, when to reap, when to sow, so many different ways.
Yeah. Self-awareness on all levels, and knowing again, what are our strengths? What are our weaknesses? What are we here for? Because that purpose that you talked about, I mean, everybody's in that self-discovery of what is my purpose? What am I here
At
for?
some point in time, you
Yeah,
have to ask yourself that question.
yeah,
Why am I here?
right. And when you actually do discover, because you've allowed yourself to explore, and you've discovered, some people discover it was kind of the cosmic 2x4, and some people, they take many directions until they get there. And some people are doing it all the time, but they're just in the wrong arena that they're doing it in, right? But when you actually discover that purpose, it is really quite transcending, isn't it? Because it means so much to you, heart, soul, and spirit, that you couldn't go against it if you tried. You are now it. You are that purpose.
Exactly. And it gives so much meaning to your life, why you're here. You're much more beneficiary to others around you, and you get to live a meaningful, purposeful life.
Yeah.
The whole key for me was realizing I wasn't a physical being having occasional spiritual experiences, that I was a spiritual being having a temporary physical experience.
Exactly. And a very rocky temporal human experience, yes. It can be quite, tumultuous at times. But I think that's when fall back on your strength, right? Fall back on your strength, fall back on your numbers. That's always your compass.
Exactly. That helps you get through the storms, gives you meaning, purpose, and you can be assured you'll hear those words we all want to hear when we get back home. Well done, my child.
Yes,
Well
yes,
done.
yeah. Can we talk a little bit about kind of the numbers and what they mean? Because I know that it's quite fascinating for people. And also why it only goes up to 9 and then resets, like a 10 will become a 1, but you have an 11 or a 22. And I know this confuses people. And it's like, well, what are you talking about? So can we just kind of look at the numbers and understand them a bit?
Certainly we can. Everyone knows what it means when you say numero uno. That means the first, the fastest, the top, the best. So I like to start with that when I talk about numbers, because numbers are different from figures.
Mm-hmm.
If I hold up a pen and I say I have one pen, that's a quantity of
Right.
one. That's a figure. That's for measuring on the material plane.
Mm-hmm.
But remember, numero uno. That number one refers to a quality of being the best. So numbers reveal qualities and figures reveal quantities.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone knows number one, but the number two stands for cooperation and peace. The number three is expression, youth, and abundance. That's the number of Christ, from 3 wise men to arising on the third day. 4 stands for work and orderliness. And oh yes, let me retrace a bit. 0 in the beginning is a symbol for God.
Mm-hmm.
So now if someone calls you a 0, you can say, well, thank you very much.
Right. You're nothing. I'm a 0. Thank you. Yes.
The number 4 stands for orderliness. And if most people have heard stories about 40 days and 40 nights and raining and 40 years in the desert, well, 0 stands for God, 4 stands for orderliness. So when you see the number 40 from now on, you'll know it means God's establishing a new order. The number 5 stands for freedom and change. 6 is service and responsibility. That's the number that is the key to the great souls among us. The scripture says the greatest among you will be the servants. So if you find a number 6, people born on the 6th, 15th, or 24th, you have encountered a great soul. And the word responsibility doesn't mean a burden.
Right.
It means you will have response ability.
Yes.
The ability to respond.
Right.
Number 7 is faith and wisdom. On the 7th day, God rested. So 7 spent a lot of times by themselves in quietude and in silence. They're the ones who hear the still, quiet voice. Mm-hmm. As we seek the kingdom, all else is added unto us. So from the 7, we go through the 8. This is a connection to spirit. And now you can bring that same power to the earthly plane. So 8 is about power, authority, and money, the material aspects of money. But 8 was symbolized by Moses in the scripture. Moses was in number 8. So that tells us 8 have to learn about the accountaments of money and power, only to use them as tools, but not to be trapped by them,
Right.
to bring spiritual awareness to the material plane. So once we've accumulated our resources, now we can begin to be a philanthropist. And that's the number 9, giving it away, selfless giving. After the 9 comes 10, and 10 is just a 0 and a 1. So we already used those numbers. So there's really only 9 vibrations.
Right.
The 10 means to begin again. It actually means a leader of God, and you have to stand on your own. It's just you and God. The 1 and a 0. So if you're born on the 10th, don't expect a lot of help. And if you're looking around saying someone should do something, it's you, number 10.
Yes.
Now, there are double digits. There's 2 1s, 2 2s, 2 3s, up to 2 9s. And those double digits are called master numbers. They're not arbitrarily reduced to a single digit. And by that, I mean, like the 10, we added 1 plus 0 to reduce it back to the number 1. A 12, we would reduce to the 3, 1 plus 2. But 11, 22, 33. 11 is the master of revelation and the master teacher, someone who's here to an example. The name Jesus vibrates to the number 11, and that's why he said, these and greater things will you do. The number 22 is called the master builder and the globalist. 33 is called the master healer and the someone who's here to be of universal service. That's a really high vibration because it's a 6. 3 plus 3 is 6. 44s are called master liberators, speakers of profit, and they're here to invoke the truth, to set people free. The truth sets us free. Double 5 are called the master of divine will. 2 6s, master of universal joy. 77, master of creative thought. Double 8s, master of divine knowing. And the number 99, master of universal love. The only number 99 I've ever known of or encountered was Nelson Mandela.
Oh, really? Oh, that says a lot.
99.
Yeah. Yeah. How do people understand how, if they're a double digit or not? Is it a different way of adding it up?
Well, you would, for example, if it's your birthday, you would know if you're born on the 11th or the 22nd, of course. Otherwise, you would find the master number by adding your month, day, and year, all those numbers together. They can show up there. Or when it comes to your name, you have to first convert the letters into numbers. I have an example of a conversion chart on my website for a free download, but they're really simple to make. Simply write the numbers 1 through 9 horizontally on a sheet of paper. And under the number 1, you write the letters A, J, and S. The first, the 10th, and the 19th letter. Those are all number 1s. From there, you just write the alphabet out. You're going to stop at the letter I on the first line. You go from I to J. On the second line, you're going to stop at the letter R, just putting a letter under each number. It's going to stop at R. That's the 18th letter. 1 plus 8 is 9, so it's lined up under the 9. The second line starts with S, and you go out to the letter Z. Because there's only 26 letters in the alphabet, we stop under the letter 8. 2 plus 6 is 8. And that's how you can create a really quick conversion chart. One of the things I love about numerology is the answers are already there.
Yeah.
One is leadership, cooperation, work orderliness. As I just went through them, all we do with numerology is really see which energy applies to us.
Right.
The answers are already there. So I always tell people, I'm not a mystic. I'm not peering into a crystal ball. Numerology is a science. And if you can add 1 and 1 and get 2, you can really get a lot of self-help, do a lot of self-discovery. For me, it took me out of a very dark time in my life when I just didn't know where to turn. And so I always say your test becomes your testimony.
Yes. Oh, yes. I mean, that's the reason why we go through those hard times. I think very often, sometimes people can get a nudge, nudge, wink, wink, and redirect. They know they're on the wrong path. They feel it. I've just got to walk away from where I am. Some people are lucky enough to be kind of born into that energy, and they know that's the energy they have to do. And whatever experiences they have, it's the undercurrent of everything they do. And then they step into the bigger picture. But there are a lot of people that are living life by, society's dictation, society's expectation. And they're the people that are, going out and doing everything right, so to speak. They've got their degree, they're married, picket fence, 2.2 kids, which I'm still always trying to work out why 2.2 kids. But, they have a good job, they're making the six figures or whatever, but they're utterly miserable because they're not in tune with their purpose. They're living the life expectancy rather than the soul expectancy. And when you kind of can reset, and a lot of people I've interviewed received that cosmic 2x4 and had to reset, and they've all said they would never change anything, however disastrous or even catastrophic it was at the time, because it is shown them who they really are and what they're really here to do. And we're all here to be of service to one another, but what is our service? What is our gift that we are sharing? And that is something, if we can tune into, things like numerology and understand what this is my life path, this is my expression, this is what I'm here to do. It can hone in those gifts, it can hone in those abilities to doing something and help you connect to your soul's purpose.
Exactly. Yeah, you have a gift for communication. Well, that's the number 3, right? The gift for communication, but you can really paint verbal pictures to show us what possibilities exist. And
that's the big word.
As a numerologist, I truly believe our ultimate realization is to experience God's will being done in our lives on earth as it is in heaven.
Mm-hmm.
So we can accomplish this by identifying and living in harmony with our purpose, with that divine contract that we have. That's how we bring heaven on earth.
Yes.
So that's my mission. That's my gift. If I can awaken everyone to their divine purpose, then I'm doing my part to bring heaven on earth.
I mean,
you talk about the cosmic 2x4.
Yeah.
My cosmic 2x4 was, I was 21 years old. I was preparing to be an engineer, about to go into the Air Force to become a fighter pilot. And my cosmic 2x4 was a drug overdose by my best friend. And I didn't even know he was using. One day he was here, the next day he was gone. And figures went from figures to numbers for me.
Right.
Because I could only make sense of it by discovering my spirituality.
Right. Yes. Yes.
I discovered that there's no greater love that a friend give his life.
Right. Right.
Rather than having it be a tragedy, I celebrate his life as a gift, his gift to me for my awakening.
We say we sign a contract before we come here, and we don't know how long we're going to have here. And, very often we lose people way too young or at the peak of their message. And you go, why? Such goodness, doing so much for the world. And it's like they were here to ignite those hearts and souls. They were here to be that beacon of light. And long after they've gone, their message will resonate. And I was watching the Billie Holiday, I'm diversing now, but the Billie Holiday movie the other day with the Andrea J. As the actress. Brilliant performance. I do hope she gets an award for it. But just looking at Billie Holiday's story, one beautiful musician, a beautiful voice, soulful in everything that she did. But the one song she sang that, was talking about swinging from the trees, talking about lynching. Yeah. And, and how they persecuted her up to right on her dying bed, handcuffing her, and it was got nothing to do with the drugs. This was all that you're not going to play that song. And the very poignant thing she says at the end there, it doesn't matter how much you try to silence me, your grandchildren are going to be listening to this song. This song has a life of its own. And
Gives you
that is,
chills.
it does, doesn't it? Because there are certain people and certain gifts that they share with us, all right, that become that beautiful divine frequency, that divine number that will live on long beyond us. And,
Yes.
we all would love to have that contribution, that something will live on. You can call it the earthly legacy, but it's actually your purpose living on because it's been instilled in others and it will keep growing and growing and rippling. So, Martin Luther King, you know, even Kennedy and his speeches, a number of others all being knocked down. You can knock the body down, but they've already spent their spirit and it's instilled in others.
That's right. You can kill the messenger, but you can't kill the message.
No, not when that message resonates for so many people, not when it elevates people,
Yeah.
right? Not when it lifts people up into their own meaningful purpose, but also solutionary. That the status quo wants to keep you hopeless because that keeps you helpless,
Exactly.
right? So when you've got others that can lift you up to a higher frequency, to a beautiful different vibe, to a different whole equation, right? It starts igniting your own equations in your own body, your own numbers, your own meaningful purpose. And it's not like the sugar high and then you're going to crash. It's the momentum that starts igniting your purpose, which then carries on and has its own ripple effect. So
exactly.
we need those people with those numbers because they are the illuminators. They are the inspiration that begets the invitation.
Awesome. Yes. Awesome. There's nothing to say after that.
Plenty to
Perfect.
say.
That's perfect. It's like a candle, when you take your candle, you light another wick, your candle doesn't go out. You won't be diminished.
No.
You could just keep lighting and what you said.
I think we have to all ask ourselves is, yes, we're looking for a meaningful purpose, but what do we stand for? Where is our inner integrity? I like Don Rue's 4 agreements. Speak your word with integrity. Right? Do not assume, ask, right? Don't take things personally. It's their pain they're trying to impose on you, right? Don't take it personally and simply speak your word. Do your very best, measured by your own inner conscience, not by somebody else's dictation. And I think if we can live by those particular codes, and I'd love to know what the numbers are on those codes, but they resonate with me because they're easy codes to live by and they make sense.
Yes, they do.
So I think we have to look at, who are we? What is our birth number? What is our expression number? What is our path number? Because when we actually understand that, then we go, oh, okay, these are my attributes. This is the tools that I have in my kit.
Exactly. The tools you have to build.
Yes.
Your name, your birthday is like a toolbox, and your name is the blueprint.
Right.
And there's work to be done. We're not here by mistake.
No, we are certainly not. Tell me what the expression number, because you actually haven't referred to it as the expression. You have the life path, the expressions.
The expression number comes from the letters in your name.
Right.
And numerologists call it different things. Some call it the expression number. Some call it the destiny number.
Right.
But it's basically the energy that you came here to express. So that's where the idea of it being an expression number comes from. And in your case, it's 2 3s. The first name is a 3. It's actually a 12.
Right.
Which is a symbol for genius in numerology. That's why after you finish talking, you're only hearing silence from me.
Well, you've got my birth code. Are you talking about my birth code or the year?
This is the birth code.
Right, so I'm 8686. So life path 8, expression.
I was actually referring to your expression since you.
Oh, okay. All right.
The expression comes from your birth name.
Okay.
Your expression is a 6. It's made up of a 12, that's your first name, and a 30, that's your last name. So you're double 3s. Okay? 12 and 30 add up to 42, and that's your expression number. That's the 6. 42 is the number of the professional artist. I have a lot of clients come to me. I want to sing. I want to paint. I said, that's great for a hobby, but keep your day job.
Yeah.
When I see the number 42, not a problem. You could achieve professional artistic status in any artistic field you choose. Singing, painting, writing, you have the gift. That's where the expression number came from. And the 6 is symbolic of service.
Oh God, that was heavy on me.
Counseling,
Yeah.
nurturing, giving advice, and rescuing. The rescue aspect comes from the story of the Christ who turned 6 vats of water into wine. Could have been any number. So 6 tells us when you're a numerologist, your ears ring. Hello. 6. That story tells us all about the number 6. Weddings, being with family, social gathering, but the rescue, that's what 6s do. So as a 6, you're also born on the 6th, by the way. And that simply means you were in agreement with your contract. You said, God, whatever you want me to be, that's what I'm going to be. So you have a direct connection through the number 8, as it is above, so it is below. And the 8 and the 0 are the only 2 numbers you can draw over and over again without lifting your pencil or pen.
Right.
So you have that direct connection to be of service, to use material forces to bring about peace, love, harmony, and healing to the world.
Wow. Like when you talk about responsibility, I suppose I do it now through interviewing people like you who have got the tools and the skills to show people the beautiful tools and skills they've been given. Because you can teach someone how to use a hammer, you know, how to read a blueprint, how to do this and that, but until they actually pick it up and start doing it for themselves, they don't truly make that connection, right? So you can give them all of this, but now it's for them to connect with it and use it. And that comes from literally participating in it, exploring it, you know, being on that self-discovery of how do I use my number for the greater good? How do I connect with that divine source so that my light can shine for others? And that is, I think, the wonderful gift that we've been given on our journey of life, is that wonderful exploration. But most of the time we're flapping in the wind because we don't have the tools. We don't know what the tools mean.
Interesting that you would say that, because the universe spoke to me and delivered that pretty much that same message. And I just recently started, when I say recently, I mean within the past 6 days, a new class called The Awakening. And it's a one-on-one class. I don't have like 10 or 15 people, you know, trying to get the same information. It's one-on-one. It's called The Awakening, and it's 6 sessions. And I go through each of those 6 numbers that I mentioned, and it's so that a person can get on that path, and ignite that inner fire, and go on and fulfill, to be about their Father's work, basically, to help be part of the plan.
Yes. You pointed out that I was a rescuer, and that's something that I've been doing all my life. You know, I could be in the cornerest corner reading a book, and somebody comes to me, and it's somebody that needs advice, or they're in a pickle, or, you know, I've rescued kids. You know, it's just been that. I don't need to find it; it finds me. But I've seen, I was given the gift of the knowingness. You know, as I mentioned before, of right as a child, even to my teachers. I would end up counseling them, not knowing I'm doing it, of course. And I would give them that wisdom that came from me. And they'd go, how did you know that? Know what? Can you repeat it? No. Do you understand what you said? No. I was the vessel of information they needed to hear at that time. And I was detached from the message because I was purely channeling it. And as I got older, the message became more articulate with my own understanding and how to share it. But we cannot go against or deny or ignore the instrument that we are, because it longs to be played, and it will be played whether you are going to listen to it or not.
Awesome. What a wonderful way of putting it, you know.
So understanding it is so very important. And, you know, this is This isn't just to do with understanding your meaningful purpose. It's understanding how to use it in business, how to use it in relationships, how to use it in every single aspect of your life, because these same tools can be used in every aspect of your life.
Exactly.
And it's not just about spirituality. It's not just about just a connection with God, because whatever connection you have with God, that should be played out no matter what hat you're wearing, right?
Exactly. I get business people calling me all the time. I'm about to rent an office. What's the best office space? And I'll
Mm-hmm.
ask them, well, what are your intentions? How do you intend to use that space?
Yes.
Okay, if you're having a daycare center, you want a number 3. That
Mm-hmm.
stands for youth, children. You know, if you're going to open a bank, you want a number 8.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You not want to open a business at a number 9 address. You'll have lots of clients, but nobody will pay. Everybody will be
Right.
looking for that selfless giving. So
Yes.
yeah, it really comes in handy in all walks of life, particularly with relationships. You know, one of the things that I do, I marry people as an ordained metaphysical minister. But when someone wants to get married, the first thing they have to do is get a compatibility report.
Oh, I'm glad you do that. Yes. Yeah. You may be chemically in love, but
Uh-huh.
can your soul and spirit love? You know, are you on the same
Exactly.
plane, or are you so out of sorts? Yeah. Have you ever had to
Exactly.
tell someone, I'm sorry, you're just not compatible?
And actually, I've never had to do that, but I've told people, here's what you have to do to be compatible,
Right.
and they weren't willing to
Right.
make the sacrifice.
Yeah.
All numbers work.
Yeah.
It's all from the source. We're all from the source.
Yes.
So it's just harmony. You can't have the same note. There's no harmony without different notes.
Right. You know, you look at music, it's written in a different way, but every note has a frequency and every frequency has a number,
Yes,
right? We can't
exactly.
escape the numbers in our tone of voice, even in the words that we say. The words themselves have numbers. You know, everything has numbers. I'm
Yes,
useless at
yes.
math. I'm totally useless at math. I have 2 children in December, either side of Christmas, and I planned them. And so, you know, I'm no good at math, because otherwise I would have worked out they would have been born around Christmas. So no good at math whatsoever. But for me, it's rhythm. It's frequency. It's the rhythm of life. Life must be in rhythm and in flow. And I think when you can know that part of you, where is your fluidity? Because we don't want people to box themselves, or you are this, so therefore you can only be that. We don't want that. We don't want you to go
Right,
small. We want you to expand out, right?
exactly.
How do you use this beautiful tool that you've been given? Which arena is it best in? Whom does it best serve? You know, and what
Exactly.
is the message that you are bringing through this beautiful purpose?
Exactly. Exactly.
So business people, excellent, because yes, um, you do not want to open up a business, as you said. If you're a business that needs to make money and you've opened up a 9, then
And the number 9 stands for selfless giving.
yes, I think I've done that. Although I'm an 8, I think somewhere along the line there must be a 9 hitting me, because I seem to do that all the time. You thought about 8, you know, making money. For me, it just seems, you know, it doesn't attach. It constantly goes out. But that's the thing. A lot of people then get the misunderstanding. 8s have the capability of making a lot of money, but that doesn't mean we always have the capability of holding on to it, because it's meant to go through us into
It's a tool.
productivity, not for us to hold.
Exactly. It's a tool to be utilized to help others, as you put it, and to accumulate so you can move on to the number 9, which is philanthropy, to start giving it away.
So if I need a sponsor, I've got to look for a 9.
Yes. Yes. Or if you want people to start giving you money, start a nonprofit organization and people can donate to your causes.
Yes, I do. I do have actually something, but other things have to be in productivity to serve that. But it's there. It is there,
Awesome.
and it's ready to be fed so that it can go out to spread its seeds. So,
Awesome.
I was always.
Yes, with the number 3 energy and your first and last name, a lot of what you came here to do will benefit young people.
Mm-hmm.
The number 3 is about the youth, helping the youth.
Yeah.
So if you're in a room and children are there, they'll be drawn to you like a magnet. Children will tell you things they won't tell their own parents.
Yeah, that's yeah, yeah, yeah. I have a 10-month-old grandson right now. She's probably around 11 months now, almost. And he's, can't remember, he was born last year, so I can't remember what his number is. But I look at this child and although I know he's not an 8, I am seeing the infinity sign. I'm seeing a connection there with this child. His energy is just so, he has a smile that just lifts up your heart and melts it at the same time. Right?
Is it okay to share his first name?
Yeah, it's Rowan, R-O-E-N.
Okay, R-O-E-N.
And he was born the 22nd of March, 21.
Oh my goodness. 22nd of March, 2021. And the number 22.
Yeah.
That's one of the master numbers that we talked about. And it's called the master builder and the globalist vibration.
Yes, I
the
felt
world is going to be his playground.
right. I just feel he's going to be extremely knowledgeable of the earth, but know how to bring the divine connection. It's
funny you would say that, because the number 4, 2 plus 2 is 4, is the number of the earth. It was on the 4th day that God created the earth.
Yeah.
And that means, as a numerologist, that means to us, all things come into physical manifestation under the number 4. So this is a vision boarding guy, vision boarding guy. So he'll be able to, the 11 is his vowel total, O and E, which will make him very idealistic, but the 22 will enable him to manifest his dreams.
Yes, good.
This guy is going to do what other people call impossible.
Oh, I'm so happy to hear that.
Impossible. That's what they're going to say.
Yeah.
I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And people are going to say, that's impossible. And he's going to manifest it.
Yeah. I feel that before he was born, I felt that, and the moment he was put into my arms.
He had a past life experience as a scribe.
Ah, interesting.
So he's very, very wise. Back in those days, most people had an axe or a shovel or a pick. It was agricultural. Only kings, queens, wealthy people had books. So they were aware of knowledge, law, medicine.
Yeah.
So the scribe had a chance to be exposed to it all.
Right.
But many of them were sworn to secrecy.
Yes. Weren't allowed to share it amongst the masses. Yeah.
In this lifetime, no one will be able to tell Rowan not to speak.
No. Oh, no. He's very verbal. Yeah, he does this gobbledygook language, and he sits there and he's just like, blah, 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 blah. We have this blah, 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 talk, and we're both earnestly talking, an expression on his face. It's just like, I get you, man.
He can let it go now. He can express it now. He had to hold all that wisdom inside, but now he can express it, and it's going to impact the globe.
Good.
His month is a 3, his day is a 4, his year is a 5, that adds up to 12. So birth path, life path, 3, expression. Expression. He's gonna love grandma.
We've already got that wonderful rapport.
They're going to have, when they bring him to visit you, they're going to have to drag him away from you kicking and screaming.
Yeah, I go to him right now, and it's we do have a very good rapport.
When they have to leave you. No.
Well, I mean, it's my first grandchild, and I waited one hell of a long time for this, and it's I just felt him long before he was born. But it's interesting because my son is a 2, my other 2 daughters are 8s. Right, but vastly different. One 8 is a social worker, where she has had the ability as a child to see people from the inside out and call them on their BS. Right?
That's the infinity.
Yeah. But she's very, kind of really inside out type person, but she doesn't spend her spirituality or show it in that way. It comes out in her art and in her work, in her profoundness. And my other one is a butterfly. The other 8 is a butterfly. She travels around the world, and wherever she goes, she leaves her essence behind. And people just fall in love with her for her spirit. right? My
You know,
son is the 2. And so he and I, now and again, we're both very much alike, but we can hit heads because we're both saying the same thing, but in a different language. So, but I think this is the thing
that
that,
also makes you both musicians. The word music is a number 2.
okay.
So music brings people together. It's a universal language, just like numbers.
Yes.
It soothes and heals. That's the number 2. It brings us peace. You know?
Yes.
And
He's a
usually,
restaurateur. His music comes out through his food.
awesome.
He literally, for him, if he creates a symphony with the food, with the flavors, if it dances in your mouth, that's definitely his music. So,
Whoa.
and we don't need to take things literally, do we? Like music, or must be a musician. It could be the music is their influencer in life, but who's to say that you can't make food musical? And we talk about the notes of a wine.
Yes.
It has a wonderful note because, again, it's transcending into that frequency, and frequency is rhythm, which creates music.
Positive vibrations. People are
Exactly.
music too.
Yes, exactly. I think also knowing your family, knowing your children. We as before we come here, I think choose the day we're coming. For the reason, for our purpose. But we don't know that when we give birth to them, right? So it is, I think, if you know your children's numerology, you know their numbers, you know where their strengths are going to be, where their weaknesses are going to be, what their tendencies are going to be. And I think as a parent, it can fortify you in guiding them and being that custodian, in allowing them to explore, those tools, those skills that they've been given. And it's not imposing your number on them. It's knowing what their number is, what their purpose is, and helping them find their own self-discovery of that meaningful purpose.
That is so vital.
Mm.
Parents can be well-meaning. They love their children. They want what's best for them, and they can be leading them totally down the wrong path.
Absolutely. Over and over again. I have a one genre, Raise Our Gifted Children, and I have a series, the Forgotten Children series. And this year we hope to bring out a collaborative book on the raising of our children and our children's voice, because we've stifled it and we've not empowered the parents to be better parents, because when, as a society, condemn instead of support. And I think if we want to solve the dysfunction of the world and the adults that are in it right now, we need to go back to childhood. We need to go back to the children, to the parenting, to the support of the village, and reset into let's nurture and really see those opportunities for those beautiful gifted children, because they are the solution of tomorrow.
I love what you're saying. That's your energy. That's what you came here to express, that number 3, that youthful vibration, working with the children. That's the foundation. You start there, they'll teach their children, who teach their children, and it will ripple out. So that's an excellent focus. As a number 7, I go back to the other parent, our Father in heaven, from all of us.
Yes.
To study those gifts, those talents, those skills and abilities that we came here to express. My parents imposed upon me, as you were saying, they wanted an engineer in the family because of my technical ability and my ability to research and study. So I knew about numbers. I was prepared when God gave me my true calling, when I got my cosmic 2x4. Yeah. So like you said, the music's going to play. Even though they wanted an engineer, they were preparing me unconsciously for what I was going to become. And now I bridge the gap between the spiritual and the material.
Right. They wanted you to be classical, and right, and they wanted you to be classical. Instead, you became jazz. And it is. They do want your security. They do want to know that you've got something out there. So it's all good intentions. Sometimes it is, I didn't get that opportunity, so you're going to live my life for me because you're going to go and do it, right? Or this is what I am, and you're going to do it. And it's like, no, they're not made for that. What were they designed for? What is their very blueprint? Because the numbers are their blueprint.
Exactly. So there is a tool, parents. If you say, if only I knew, there is a tool out there, several tools. We've mentioned them throughout the program. So reach out, take advantage of those tools. I've done quite a bit of work with parents with naming their children. Well, I like this name, I like this name. Well, let me tell you the implications. Let me tell you the life experience that you are going to be having to go through. Let me tell you about the soul you are summoning into the earthly plane by choosing, quote, choosing this name. Because ultimately that energy is transmitted by us. We transmit the energy to whoever appears dominant.
Yeah.
And they say, this is what the name is going to be, but we're really choosing our own name.
That's why so many people change their names, isn't it? I mean, I had my birth name, I had my married name, and then when I was divorced, I thought, why, this is not my name anymore, it's not my identity. So I changed my surname. I go by Troy now, but Sarah is still the same. But it was, I know when I did do the Sarah Troy, I asked a friend with numerology if the number's right for me. Is this, it feels right, but does it add up for me? Is it going to serve me? And then
the number, Troy is a 6. So Sarah North combined was a 6. So by taking Troy, that name, you put that energy all in one.
Right.
Troy, that's a 6. It's made up of an 11, which is light. 11 is a number of light, illumination, and a 13. The O and the Y. 6 and 7 is 13. Very misunderstood vibration. People think that 13 means death, but I say what's death to the caterpillar is life to the butterfly.
Yes.
13 stands for change, release, transformation. So by taking the name Troy, it literally means I'm going to shine the light on you and transform your life. That's what the name Troy means.
Excellent, because that's when I changed it in the first year of doing podcasting, which is almost 10 years now. And it was a transformation for me as well. And it took me on this path of interviewing awesome people like yourself and becoming that network, becoming that community of wisdom, ready for the clicking. It's there. You want to know, just click on it. The knowledge is there. I've got my own library here of, nearly 3,000 shows. So there is plenty of wonderful wisdom. And that is what I think my calling was to do.
You're changing lives, no doubt about it. You're changing lives.
You're changing them. I'm giving you the platform to change them. That's the point.
Sarah is the 3. When you put that 3 and a 6 together in Troy, that's the number 9 energy you mentioned. So there must be some number 9 somewhere.
Yeah. Yes.
I've been giving stuff away.
Yes.
Well, as Sarah Troy, you're a number 9. You're literally here to be a channel of blessings for others, to be God's hand on earth. So when God wants to bless someone, it's going to come through you. You're also a healer. Don't know if you got into the Reiki, the healing hands.
No, I'm an emotional healer, not a physical healer.
You're also a healer as well.
Yeah. Yes, not a physical. I've literally know people who can turn the water the other way. That they can really manipulate the energy, and yes, those that can work on the body and change the energy, because it is a lot of our dis-ease in our body is an imbalance in our body. The energies are not working properly, right? We're 70% water, and our water is not clear. Sorry, Lapid, you had a wobbly there. Can you repeat that?
No, I hit the table I was on. Sorry about that.
It's okay.
We were talking about the healing of the number 9 being the hand of God on earth. When God wants to bless someone, it's going to come through you. That's the number 9 energy.
So that's where that knowingness of not knowing what I need.
Now you experience the number 9.
Right.
When someone's in trouble, you invite it in your house. If they're in trouble, the 9 opens the door. Come on in. You can stay with me.
Yeah.
The door's always open. They'll eat up your food, break your favorite china, run up your phone bill, and leave without saying thank you. That's the number 9 experience. But if you can continue to be more and more and more resources, the story of Job is about the number 9. And he was the richest man in town. Lost everything.
Right.
Got it back double.
Yeah.
So I don't know where you are on the roller coaster.
Yeah. Yes.
But is it number 9?
Yeah. You know, it's, you know, my brother and I, he's in England, and saying somebody won the, you know, the lotto over there, and it was an awful lot of money going to one person. And we're saying it's better if it goes to a few people rather than one, because for so many it can destroy their lives rather than make their lives. And I've literally kind of imagined me winning the lotto, and I know exactly where every dollar is going to go and what it's going to empower, who it's going to empower, who it's going to give that sense of security to, you know, and invest in people, because that's what I'm here to do. Lotto has I suppose I have to buy a ticket.
You would be pleasantly surprised. I'll put it that way.
Sorry?
The number 3 stands for abundance. It comes from the story of Christ when they said, Master, why are you here? He says, I'm here that you have life and have it abundantly. And his whole story is about the number 3. 3 wise men, 3 sleeping disciples, being denied 3 times before the rooster could crow. And your first and last name are both 3s. So there are angels watching you, making sure when your list is complete, the abundance will come so that you can disperse it and be the hand of God on earth, become a philanthropist and heal the sick, rescue the poor, and feed the needy. That's why you're here. It's going to happen.
And this year, I believe, because we're in the year of the tiger, and number 8, right?
And it's a number 6 year for you.
A 6 year for me, but the tiger itself, I think, is 8s are associated with the year tiger. So it's meant to be a prosperity year. It's a year of making money. And that means my funded, actually, you know, my funded program can get going, because it's about generating money in order to invest in other people and giving not only the people, but the money behind it.
This is your year for philanthropy and selfless giving, yes.
Yeah.
It's a number 9 year for you. You find your personal year by adding your month and day, which is 16. And that's right, 16. And you add that to 24. So 10 and 16, I thought it was a 3. 10 and 24 and 16 is 40. It's a number 40 year for you. And the number 40 means God will be establishing a new order. So expect breaks, endings, separations, building a business, even building a home is possible this year. You may find yourself working and mending on your home, or maybe hiring an architect to build a new one this year. That's the number 40. A new order is coming in.
Good. It's like, I always have a word for every year, and this year is ignition. Put yourself in gear. This year, I have to get up to that 5th gear, and we have to be on the road. This is the year of completion. I'm given the vision. I'm given the blueprint. I see it. And this is the year it's going to be built. So we got to tap into all those energies.
It's time to say, bye, Pharaoh. That's the 40. Bye, Pharaoh. It's starting to rain. All the old is going to be washed away.
Yeah, I don't care about the raining men. Just rain possibilities and money, thank you.
that kind of rain. The old will be washed away, as it did in the big flood when Noah built the ark. 40 days and 40 nights. The old will be washed away.
Oh, good. Well,
you're very, very much in tune. Very, very much in tune with what's happening, what's going on. Now, universally, it's a number 6 year. 2 plus 0 and 22 adds up to 24. 2 or 4 is 6. The number 24 is called the family entrepreneur vibration. So this is a time for businesses to get going, to get off the ground. A lot of people are saying, I'm not going back to that 9 to 5.
Right, yes.
I'm going to turn within, okay? There was stillness. People had to be still and quiet. That's 7 energy. When you're still, you turn within, now all else is being added. So we're going to see an abundance of people starting businesses, wanting to reap what's within, as opposed to going back to the artificial constraints or trying to please others. They're going to be manifesting that inner light. So this is going to be a great year.
I know, I feel it. I really do feel it. I feel the energy shift with it. And I think, as I said, it's the foot to the pedal. You know, it's now like, okay, you've said, I wish I could do this, or I could do this, if only. Put away the if only and start making it happen.
It's
right?
time.
Yeah,
Exactly.
because everything's behind you right now. Tell us about your book. Your book is, I'm going to say, it all adds up. Yeah, but what adds up? The numbers?
It all adds up.
Right, you need to pull it back a bit more. Pull it back a bit more. There we go. Yes.
Yes, the book talks about all the different numbers that we have within every point, your birth path, your destiny, your heart's desire, compatibility. And when I say compatibility, I'm not only talking about, romantic
Right,
compatibility. Are you compatible with the house you're about to buy?
right.
You need to establish compatibility with your children, with your work, the people in your work environment. I've been called upon by different government agencies to use this as a substitute for the Myers-Briggs,
Yes.
which is a great personality indicator. Well, numerology is even better. It's even
Yeah,
better.
I use the two together. The true colors that you talk about, the Myers-Briggs is Myers-Briggs, the personality trait. I use them together. So when I'm doing somebody's true colors, I actually use the Chineseology, astrology, numerology, and the personality traits, because I look for the common thread for all of it. That is the common strength. So yes, it's I don't do anything when I do my clientele, because I'm too busy with this. I don't do anything without the numerology being in there. The basic numerology, not the whole chart, but the basic numerology. But I think people having that whole chart done of exactly what they all are, and then with what you're offering, the one-on-one, the awakening, because this, if you're going to be wanting to be awoken, folks, this is the year. This is the year to get into action. This is the year to wake up, and step it up and change it up and grow it up to a higher frequency. So the program you have there is most certainly one that I feel people need to invest in themselves, because it's giving them the skills and the tools and the knowledge and the wisdom and the vision to know where to put that foot of enthusiasm, right?
Okay. Well, if anyone is interested in the class, I can give out my email
Yep.
address. I'd be glad to share information with them. As I said, literally, I just began this month. So I haven't even put it on my website yet. But if you want to have information about it, my email address is cr77ig@gmail.com, and I'll shoot out the syllabus to you and give you information about the classes. These are individual classes. You're going to be the only student. You can pick any day you want, anytime you want, get all your questions answered.
Right.
And there's a certificate awarded at the end of the program.
And and a wonderful knowledge of that you can keep referring back to. It doesn't mean you have to have it all retained in your head. It's this, I'm in this situation, what do I need to know with my number right now? You can go back and refer that, and it helps you make choices better. It helps you walk in the right direction more cohesively. It helps you align with the right people on your journey of life. It helps you really step into your meaningful purpose, actually knowing how to use the skills and the tools that you have, right? Because you've got the numbers, you've got that energy, supporting you. So if we know them, then we know this is like having the mentor or the tutor with you wherever you go.
Exactly, because we are literally the living word. It's
Yes,
true.
yes, yes. We had a bit of a bubbly when you did the email. So can you give the email address again?
Yes, that is cr77ig@gmail.com.
Excellent. And the book, how do people get hold of the book?
To get the book, you can visit my website. That's CraigEWright.com. CraigEWright.com.
And the book can be found there. Is it on Amazon as well?
Yes, it's on Amazon. All the major book sites you can visit, and it's called It All Adds Up.
Yeah. And the
On
thing
my
is,
website, you can get an ebook at my website if you want to get it right away. Softback copy, you can have it mailed to you.
excellent. And we don't have to be mathematicians to understand the numbers, because as you said, you've laid it out in a way that it's very easy to discover what it is and what area that you're looking for.
1 through 9.
Right. So it is whatever you're doing in life, this is the year we want you to put that foot to the pedal. We don't want you to get up into fifth gear before you've gone through all the other gears. And each gear you need to look at, is this number behind me? You're getting in that vehicle, whatever vehicle it is that vehicle the right number? There's a lot to it. But at the same time, that when you get into the rhythm of it and grasp it, you'll be something that you won't make any big decisions in life without it, because you know it's your compass. It's got you. It's going to put you in the right direction, doing the right thing. And people always wonder, well, how do I do it? Here is a skill and a tool for you of how you can do it, how you can apply it to your life very, very simply, and let it always keep you on track.
The numbers don't lie.
Numbers don't lie. No, they don't. And they always add up, right? And it is a way of us stepping into a meaningful purpose, but also stepping into that divine connection, because we are not just earthly beings. We are beautiful, divine, spiritual beings, human beings. And that being part of it, that beautiful divine energy, if we allow it to come through us and to express itself, it will guide us also. It will work in harmony with our purpose, and that the sky's the limit. The universe is the limit. You know, it's just, there is no limit. You know, we can go up and beyond. It's beautiful.
Exactly. So beautiful and eloquent. We are beings. We're not human doings.
No.
We are human beings.
Yes. And that beingness is that divine connection, right? Otherwise, you're just a humanoid. And we have too many humanoids out there that are just living in the shallowness of a human vessel with the limitations of it. When you ignite that soul, heart, and spirit, and that divine presence, it ignites you, it switches everything on. Now you actually understand why you're here. And that's why everybody, why am I here? The big, $1 million question, why am I here? Just simply take the journey, know your numbers, apply them, and your meaningful purpose will be revealed. And then step into it.
Beautiful.
But know the people around you. Oh, my pleasure. Thank you. Thank you. I mean, I've always been fascinated with numerology. It's such a beautiful map. It's such a beautiful guidance system, and that is so simple, that just simply knowing which numbers are better for you and which aren't, that it is such a wonderful way to live your life in a way that, and it doesn't mean you're not going to do business with that person if they're not that right number. It just means you may do business with that person in a different way.
In a different way, exactly.
Right. And you don't want to take on a partner that is a number that's not complementary to you, because then you're going to end up with issues, right? And business partner, soul partner, friendship partner, whatever. And if your children are born with a number that might be in a little conflict with you, then all right, that conflict is, you're going to have to work even harder on your communication and understanding, right? Yes. We're forewarned. So, yeah.
Beautiful tool.
Thank you so much for sharing with us here today. I've loved every minute of this. So it's CraigWright.com, CRAIGE.
Wright.
Wright. It is? Okay, that's not what I've got.
My middle initial is Edward. So it's
okay. So Craig E. Wright, right. So yeah, so Craig E. Wright. Some people spell Craig with an E too.
Okay.
CraigEWright.com. And he has a wonderful gift for us, which I promised you at the beginning of the hour. So what is that wonderful gift that you're willing to give away today?
Well, the gift is, if you visit my website and you order a 6-month forecast, I will give you an additional 6 months at no additional charge.
Wow, so that's very generous.
And get a 12-month forecast.
Wow.
Order 6.
Yeah. Wow, that's 2 for 1. Yes. And that will take you right up to...
Be sure to mention Sarah Troy in the column for notes. Mention Sarah Troy, and I'll know to give out the discount to her listeners.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. That's extremely generous. And that means you'll have a 12-month forecast there. So you can really plan, that where you can really put the foot to the pedal, and okay, no, this is not the time, this is restraint, wait on this. But it's that whole year of just that beautiful blueprint of knowing it's got your back. There's your compass. It's giving you the foresight of where you're going. So it can help you through anything in life, which is wonderful. Thank you so much for that generosity.
Thank you.
So folks, please
I appreciate the opportunity.
Oh, and it was
Yeah.
wonderful having you here. And I have somebody else I know who will want to interview you as well. So, folks, it's, numerology it's been around since the beginning of time. It's actually what made this universe and this planet. Everything is numbers. Everything is energy. And energy is all measured by numbers. So we can't escape it. It is us. The more we understand it, the more we can utilize it, the more it can guide us forward on our own beautiful, meaningful purpose in life. So until next time, bye for now. We hope that you enjoyed the show right here on selfdiscoverymedia.com. Please tune in to our selfdiscoverymedia.com/shows and you will see all the other genres that we have from you. Every week on Tuesday, we bring you new shows from illuminating people. If you know someone that should be interviewed, please contact us at info@selfdiscoverymedia.com. Now stay tuned for your next show.